Action.
Greetings, viewers. My name is Dr. Mumbi Stevens-Toye. I'm a biologist and research scientist in the areas of immunology and microbiology. I am also the founder of Naturality Organic Therapeutics, designing and developing plant-based therapies. I also design intellectual property. I also design intellectual property for individuals and businesses. I'm here today with Adama Alaji, who is the producer and host of Thursday's Night Watch, the meeting of the Inner Circle on WRFG 89.3 FM in Atlanta and on the web at WRFG.org, where for 22 years she has been speaking to the liberation of humanity being a cellular function. Thank you, Adama, for being here with me today. I know you're very busy running your Holistic Life Center.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Very good. Now, your Holistic Life Center, you use WHOLISTIC for your business name. Briefly tell us the distinction.
We have seen the word holy, holistic spelled with HOLISTIC. But when you look at the root of that word is whole, HOLE, which constitutes that where the substance of the thing has been removed. Now, in order for us to look at wholeness, we're looking at 360 degrees of love, light, wisdom, and truth that allows us to function spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, you know, in the light of the truth of the ones that we actually are. And so where the W is missing, and I look at the W as, you know, you can use it W, which kind of looks like a woman's breast, well-rounded breast, right? Or you could look at the double V, which looks like the vulva. So you pull the woman out of it and you have something that's seriously missing under the auspices of the world that has been under male domination and patriarchy.
Very good.
And so now we're having to bring or respond correctly to the exaltation of the divine feminine coming forward upon the planet for our wholeness.
Saying it very good lead-in that many holistic healers and naturopathic practitioners will advocate for the importance of cleansing, as you most certainly do. But your recommendation is unique. You recommend daily internal cleansing using clay. Tell us about the clays, their efficiency, and the mechanism of action.
Well, the clays, many of us craved the clay when we were children. We played in the dirt, we loved the dirt, we ate the dirt. We saw our aunties, our grandmothers and whatnot eat red dirt. Those who were in the country would pull it from the clay banks and mountainsides and this and that. And I too craved it as a child. I didn't understand what the craving was.
Right.
And it manifested as a craving for chalk or cornstarch or argo starch, or with other ones they were eating flour, but that was the DNA kicking in, because the clay is the natural detoxifier for all of the chemicals that were in our hot dogs, our hamburgers, our lunch meats, our salami, our breakfast cereals, and all of that. Of course, we didn't realize why we were having the craving.
But innately we did.
Innately, it was just there. Now, when I, in my 3rd month of pregnancy, I was driving, I was actually riding on MARTA, moving from one side downtown to the West End, AU Center, and I was going to see Lila, Africa. And I was close to Lila and Sarah at that time. And so there was this huge pile of red dirt excavated upon the earth where Bill Cosby's money was going to facilitate the expansion of Morehouse's campus, right? And so my mouth watered. And so by the time I got to Lila, it was so noticeable. I said, well, Lila, you know, I was passing by the red dirt and my mouth watered. And he said, oh, your body's just craving minerals. Go get you some clay. And so that's when I started really dealing with the clay. And so over the years, so that's like almost 40 years ago. And so I've been dealing intimately with the clay ever since. Now, Adama actually the Hebraic name of Adama is red earth. And so this gift was given to me. And I used to ask Dr. Sabi, I said, Sabi, what is this with this clay? And he would just say, well, take the herbs. He wouldn't really respond to it. He just didn't know to respond to it. And so what I've realized over the years in the fact that I've seen so many vegan vegetarians and other ones pass away from the cancer, the heart disease, but mostly the cancer, you know, which is the amount of acidity in our bodies, all of the protein from all of the meat, the dairy, the eggs, all of the carbs, the carbonic acid, the uric acid, the lactic acid and whatnot. So I realized that the clay is very powerful. The clay is of the earth. The earth is so massive. She's huge. And people would have you think that there are no minerals left in the earth. And I'm saying, no, the earth is still mineral rich. But the clay is not surface dirt. It's coming from deep within the earth, so it's magnetic. It's mineral rich. So we have been socialized to feel as though our bodies require protein, when we really consider that there is an absolute and perfect and divine design of our bodies. We're all breatharian first, from the blackest black to the lightest light. No one can live except by breathing. Breath is the animating, maintaining, and sustaining force of our lives. Now, as we have come upon the planet, to the planet, through the wombs of our mothers, sparked by the divine sacred fluid from our fathers, being under the auspices of those who either didn't know, didn't care to know, didn't want to know, and act like they don't have a reference for knowing how to facilitate healing, then the clay is a part of that which helps to bring and loosen anything that's inorganic from the tissue. So we're drinking it, we're putting it in preferably distilled water, filtered water, right? And it alkalizes the water, it becomes mineral rich, and we drink it. We also do enemas with it. We douche with it to help dissolve the fibroids and the tumors and the cysts and whatnot, as opposed to having to have surgeries. All right, now the issue for us is understanding that the minerals that we should be getting from the earth through plants, right? Many people are not really eating enough vegetation to get the minerals. So, and even if they did, because of how much time, how many years we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with meat, dairy, eggs, chicken, fish, flesh, flour, sugar, and the chemicals, the residues that are in these things, you could not eat enough plants by themselves to begin to really pull and loosen those chemicals from our systems. I have not, I've not really seen anyone who really understood it to the degree to which we really respect the intelligence of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and the minerals that are really necessary for optimum cellular functioning. So water in and of itself may be neutral. What makes it alkaline is the mineral content. All right, so we're getting the minerals from the earth, and they're helping to charge the cells. So we are drinking it, we are doing the douching, and we are doing enemas. And people would say, well, it's not safe to do enemas. Is it safe to do enemas every day? I say, but you didn't ask whether it was safe to eat the flesh of a dead animal every day, 3 times a day, times 365 days a year, times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, which is creating all of the Alzheimer's, the Parkinson's, all of this dis-ease we're having because our tissues are saturated, concentrated, and contraindicating with all of the chemicals from the nitrates and nitrites, the BHA, the BHT, the shelf enhancers, stabilizers, plus the antibiotics, the pesticides, the residues from all of these things. So that's why we do clay daily.
And it's very vital, especially as we sit here. It's now May 2021. Now, prior to March of 2020, you spoke of the real pandemic as being sickness, illness, disease, and death. Tell us what fed into this and expound upon what the real pandemic truly is.
Because we are oriented on a planet that we did not design, there is perfection that is an inherent part of existence, and we were perfectly and divinely designed. All right, now as a result of us being fed that which the body cannot utilize as that which promotes optimum cellular functioning. So now we're having to make a distinction between that which we refer to as food and that which is actually nutriment for perfectly and divinely designed bodies. All right, so the actual pandemic is the heart disease, the diabetes, the cancer, the liver and kidney functioning or dysfunctioning, the dialysis, the sarcoidosis, the lupus, I mean the respiratory issues and all of the stuff. And then because we have not really understood that when you bring and raise children up to eat the flesh of dead animals, the aborted fetuses of chickens, the pus and mucus of cows, breakfast cereals, Kool-Aid, Pop-Tarts, all of this stuff that has all of these chemicals, then we're literally putting ourselves in deficiency mode. All right, so having been fed that which is nutritionally deficient, then it manifests over time as spiritual deficiency, emotional deficiency, mental deficiency, and physical illness, sickness, and disease. Now, our coming to this place and space where we realize that there has been no one who has been sent to the earth to be the perpetuators of sickness, illness, disease, and death as livelihood. Now that we are realizing that we're in a death culture, a culture that celebrates the right to kill. The guns and all of the entertainment now, the video games, it's like they're those ones who really get off. They enjoy the killing. The killing is the sport and the game. They get a thrill from seeing the life force bleed out of things and people. And for those who are in the business of slaughtering, from the chickens, the turkeys, the beef, the pigs and whatnot, these ones could not possibly maintain their natural functioning, because to be murdering every day as if these creatures are not intelligent creatures, as if there is no pain, there is no suffering, there is no trauma and whatnot, that you begin to realize the root of so much of the child abuse, the spouse abuse, the alcoholism, the drug addiction, and whatnot, that are all rooted in the fact that we have been fed that which the body cannot digest, it cannot utilize it.
And the animals are sensing others around them that are suffering under what man is doing to them. As a biologist, we used to do research and unfortunately used